This is Nerd News Cafe, Stir It Up, with Matt, Landon, and Justin.
Get ready to stir it up. It is round 29, and it is Thursday, and I am hype to the hilt, baby. I'm talking top of the sword.
He's been drinking Mountain Dew all day.
I'm all jacked up. Well, like I always say, this is Matt.
Well, like I usually say, this is Justin.
And my cat's breath smelled like cat food. My name is Landon.
Yes! Nice. Love it.
Honestly, that's the best case scenario.
It is. That means your cat's healthy.
Good job.
Which, by the way, speaking of best case scenario, does anybody else dance along to the intro music? I noticed every week we do this, I'm kind of doing like an Axl Rose thing, kind of swaying my head and shoulders to that music. I dig it.
I do a head bob kind of back and forth.
It's nice. Just to give the listeners a little insight, we usually have not ever... In the past, let me restart. In the past, rewind that, flip it and reverse it. In the past, we have not used live intro music, but since we figured out this whole Skype thing and sharing audio, I was like, hey, we could just drop this in. Saves me 10 seconds of editing, so let's go ahead and do that.
And it's all about saving just in time.
Yeah, so now we're actually listening to it and doing our intro live, and it adds a little bit of spice and energy to the intro, I think.
Well, it puts you. I feel like it's like, okay, time it, and I'm like more jazzed up.
Yeah,
more than usual.
But I do it. I bob along.
Yeah,
it gets the blood going. All right, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's true. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to get the blood boiling. Supposed to get you hyped up. Supposed to get your Thursday top notch.
Would you say that it gets your blood stirred up?
That it does. So stir it up, your blood.
You are correct, sir.
Actually, I don't know. Don't do that. That doesn't sound healthy.
That does not sound healthy. That sounds like something that Lance Armstrong did before each race. So
live strong.
He did with anybody else's blood he could get. So he's truly a vampire in the cycling industry.
He is the Dracula of the Tour de France.
He's the Tour de France.
Oh, God.
Let's count how many Tour de France I won. 1, 2.
I was so glad somebody's on board with count Jack. With the count with me.
Yep. All right. I need to get into the hard stuff. Hold on.
Or he could just say, scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
But you cheated. Scoreboard.
Yep. America. We win.
America.
But you have one less ball now. Scoreboard.
I'm lighter.
He's more aerodynamic.
Less chance you sit on your balls when you sit on a bike seat.
True. He only has to have a smaller hole he drops them down in. That's a long ride. As a cyclist myself, and I can say that because I've done more street riding than mountain biking now, it is rough after a while on that seat.
Are you juicing? You juicing like Lance Armstrong?
I don't know unless you mean a lot of water. And
Well, you heard it here first. Breaking on Nerd News Cafe. Matt juices. And by juices, he means water.
Water, yeah. I'm not going to cut off one of my testicles go faster, though. That's not going to happen.
Cut them both off. Why stop at one?
I will not deball
You've
for
got
the
enough
speed.
kids now. Come on.
I don't care. I still need those clackers to prove what I am.
Oh, God. Clackers?
That is a reference from the league. I've seen way too many episodes.
Okay, all right. Which, by the way, is leaving at the end of the month.
Done. I'm done. I finished it. And the last episode is as disappointing as you could imagine.
Okay, well then.
They
Glowing
cartooned
review
it.
from Matt Weaver, everybody.
Put it in the Seinfeld category.
It's great. And then there's a cartoon that breaks out in the middle of this show.
That's pretty weird.
I don't like, why do we have...
I don't remember that.
It's because Seth Rogen, I guess, didn't want to show up, and he's one of the characters, so they got Seth Rogen and Jason Mantzoukas to be a cartoon.
They brought him in animated.
Yeah,
we didn't
animated.
mention that as one of our favorite live-action 2D combinations, but it is a TV show.
Oh, I had one the other day that I had totally forgotten, and now I have totally forgotten it yet again. So if I think of it, if I blurt it in the middle of this show, you will know what that is for.
I've heard memory loss can be caused by juicing.
Possibly.
Yep. Way too much water, Matt.
Way too much agua. Yeah. I'm going to have to cut back on the H and push the O. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, just stay away from the homemade water.
Ooh. Sometimes I make water. It's not drinkable, I would think.
No. We do not want to try your homemade water.
Sure.
What is this, Waterworld?
This is, oh, wow. I am the Costner. He costs them dearly. So to move forward, the things that do cost and budgets that have hit bottom.
That's my cue for Comic Book Corner.
That was very superhero-ish.
That's what I was going for today. Almost the tick.
point.
The tickish.
Tickish, nice.
Yeah. All right. We're going to keep it quick and brief today. I've got 3 quick and brief synonyms.
That's how I put my clothes on. Not in that order.
One leg at a time. One ball at a time.
I put on the briefs and I put on the quick.
Good Lord.
As long as it's not the quick and the dead. That's how I put my clothes on.
Do you lay on the floor motionless like someone dresses you?
I will not comment on that.
I have new respect for your wife. Justin, we can't do this every day. Just do it.
She puts up with a lot.
She does. Obviously now, more than ever before.
Yeah, we knew she put up with a lot before.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's start with Edge of Venomverse number 4.
Get ready to disappoint.
We talked about this one last time, and I want to tell you, I think that the cover is not misleading this time, not like it was last time.
Yes.
But I got the impression that this was going to be more about the T-Rex, and it's really more about, actually, not Wolverine, Old Man Logan. So,
okay, I can feel... I understand not kind of being misled with Wolverine and it being Old Man Logan, but you really did think this was going to be about the T-Rex?
I thought so. I thought it might be.
I did not.
I mean, look at him. He's venomed out. On the cover.
And this is Marvel Comics, where there is a very popular character in Devil Dinosaur right now.
True.
And I thought that's where we might be going. But instead, it's more about Logan. So, to set this up, at this point... Logan he's in this universe or in this story. This is after Bruce Banner's dead.
Okay.
Logan has raised Banner's son as his own.
Okay.
And then he talks about he was under some kind of mind control and went crazy and killed a bunch of the X-Men in the X-Mansion.
Oh, good Lord.
And I'm setting this up because I'm hoping Landon has heard some of this.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. That is the big reveal in the original Old Man Logan story. Like there was an event that Wolverine refused to talk about and refused to pop his claws, and it turns out Mysterio mind controlled him to slaughter the X-Men in the X-Mansion, and that happened on what they refer to as the Night the Villains one, which is where every villain in Marvel Comics got together on one page and coordinated strikes, took out all the heroes, and took over the world.
Yeah. And so that's the world that we're in this story. Logan is under the assumption that Bruce Jr. is dead. And so he's kind of living in Baja, Mexico, just kind of keeping a low profile, basically drinking himself to death. And all of a sudden...
Typical.
all of a sudden, Warren, Archangel, who I think he also thought was dead, shows up to pick him up and says, guess what? Your son is alive. I'm going to take you to him. He's like, no, I saw him die. I saw his body. He's not alive. He's like, no, I'm going to take you to him. He's alive. So he takes him to the X-Mansion, the scene of the crime, if you will. And it's a setup, essentially. So it's Archangel, and it is Bruce Jr., and then a lady dressed up as Spider-Man she says she's Hawkeye's daughter. Clint's daughter.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But she's dressed in a spider costume, which threw me off.
This is a straight up. It sounds like an extension of the original Old Man Logan story. There was a character, a female in a Spider-Man costume, but I don't know if it was Hawkeye's daughter.
Yeah, that's what they said. I mean, she, at one point they've got Logan. He's webbed up, so he can't. Well, they think he can't get out, and they're kind of talking to him, and they're like, and Logan says, Clint wanted to bring you home. He loved you, Ashley. And she says, Hawkeye was old and washed up just like you. Now you're going to help us get it all back. So, I mean, I assume it's his daughter. I don't know who else. I think it might even say at some point that, that was Clint was her dad. Well, the trap was they brought him in, they've got him webbed up, and then they released this venomed out T-Rex to kill him. And so I don't want to spoil too much of the action of what happens here, but it kind of intimates that maybe he dies, but the symbiote kind of once the symbiote picks up on his healing factor and his powers, it decides to like join with Old Man Logan. So
Use him.
yeah, so he comes bursting out of the stomach of
geez.
this thing.
Holy crap.
Yeah, venomed out.
Good Lord.
And so yeah.
Which I just want to like point this out. That's a terrible plan to kill Wolverine.
Yeah.
You're gonna sick a symbioted dinosaur on him.
Where did you find a symbioted dinosaur?
Okay, that's a fair question, but I mean, like that's your plan to kill Wolverine?
That's a terrible plan. I mean,
It's
I've heard
not
of some
good.
really half-brain stuff, but
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. So I was just kind of flipping through to the end here.
Wow.
This does not end well for really anybody, but the story has a similar ending to all the other Edge of Venomverse. This symbioted-looking Captain America figure shows up again, and he says, "Now on your feet, we've got a war to win," and he floops Old Man Logan away somewhere.
oh, is that? Who is that?
So we're looking at the cover for the next Edge of Venomverse, the last one, which is going to come out, I guess, next week or maybe week after, and we're trying to figure out who this character is. It's kind of hard to.
I mean, it
to
looks like
tell.
Spider-Man in a sense, but I want to say it's probably not.
I don't think so. He's eating. There's a lot of tacos going in here. Maybe it's Deadpool.
Holy crap! Yeah, it might
if
be
it's
Deadpool.
Tacos, it's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like there's balloons around it, and
Yeah, balloons,
yeah.
tacos.
So yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably
that
Deadpool.
sounds Deadpool. I'm gonna pull up the.
Oh, he's on a taco truck. I just realized that.
Yeah, he's standing on a taco truck. So yeah, I think it might be Deadpool. Who?
Yeah, with the swords, that's Deadpool.
Yep. So that's the next one.
Okay.
I am going to pick that one up. And as I've said, I've tried to kind of skinny down my list a little bit because it was definitely going to break me or at least get me kicked out of the house if I continue to.
You're gonna be sleeping on them. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to have to build a fort out of my comic book collection.
Which once again, that's where those hardcover variants come into
You already
play.
set yourself up for success.
They're much better for like things like being water resistant. You know.
Yeah. Are we talking
They're
hobo
practically
shingles?
Insulated.
But yeah, this one I wanted to keep following, just kind of finish it out until we get to Venomverse and see where that starts out and what kind of story that'll be. So I'm going to keep on pulling these.
That was definitely a better one than the last one for sure.
yeah, this one
As far as
was better than the Host
illustrations,
Rider.
Yeah. It made me mad about Host Rider because it was so, like Landon said, metal on the front, and then it's just like, yeah, cheap out.
It got weird.
Yeah.
But they don't give Logan a cool Venom name like they have all the other ones.
No.
So
Lennon.
Yeah, because it's Wolverine. He's Logan.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now if we look at the symbiote roster, we've got
Mm-hmm.
X-23, Gwenom, we got Host Rider, and we got Old Man Logan.
Which makes sense if you're going to fight Deadpool.
Well,
It's-
Deadpool's coming in. It looks like he'll
Yeah.
be part of the team too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting that they have. I mean, Marvel has had it before in the past, but it's interesting that both X-23 and Old Man Logan / Wolverine are going to be on the same team in this crossover event.
Yep. Speaking of people being pulled into portals and showing up places they didn't expect, I have the Next Generations comic.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So this one is Jean Grey and Phoenix, Generations #1, the Phoenix. And in this one, just like previously, kind of the current version of the character gets pulled to some point in the past to meet up with the old version. So at this point, Jean Grey, as we know her from X-Men Blue, the young Jean Grey that got pulled into the future, is now being pulled into the past. She's just getting jerked
I'm
around
so
all over the place.
confused.
Yeah, she probably feels like Marty McFly at this point.
This is heavy.
Yeah.
What's wrong with gravity in the future?
Yeah, you always say it's heavy.
So she shows up and she's very disoriented. She knows that she's trying to kind of get her bearings, figure things out without really reaching out with her psychic abilities because she's worried that this is some sort of trap. And if she reaches out, then it might ping something and they'll know where she's at and they'll come get her. Well, it turns out she's on like some tropical beach and she's like, oh, I guess somebody thought I needed a vacation. There's people partying, having an old beach party. It looks like an old Beatles or Elvis movie. Yeah.
Was a Frankie
Avalon.
Avalon and Jeanette Funny Jello.
Yeah, man.
That's not her name. That's
Funny Jello.
That's what people said though. It's Funicello.
No, I didn't see them in the panels, but they could be buried in there somewhere. So she's walking along, and then she hears some people. She starts to do some kind of light psychic, just readings of people's thoughts. And some of these people are saying, "Oh, look, there's another redhead. She looks really similar to this other one. I wonder if they're sisters. You know, this, that, and the other." And she's like, "Wait a minute, okay." So then she starts to feel like, all right, I'm here for a reason, and I'm probably going to run into something pretty familiar. She turns a corner and finds Jean Grey laying alone on the beach, reading a book. But this is the Phoenix version of Jean Grey.
Whoa.
And, but she's right now she's just in a bathing suit, just kind of chilling.
Yeah, like a villain.
Chilling.
Once again, whoa.
Yeah. Wee. Some weird dude kind of creeps up on her and starts chatting her up, and she just shoos him away. She's like, I'm just trying to read this book. I'm just, not interested. Well, so the current Jean Grey approaches her, and as she does, she pings like a super Phoenix, intense, like telekinetic power. And, Jean Grey, the Phoenix version, becomes aware that she's there, and they kind of right away know, okay, it's like Back to the Future reference when old Jennifer and young Jennifer meet up. They're like, "Oh, it's me, I'm old," and they pass out.
Yeah.
In this case, they don't. But
wait, hold on. Before we go any further, is there dehydrated pizza?
There is not, nor is there TV glasses.
yeah.
All right, I'm out on this comic. Sorry.
Well, basically, young Jean Grey knows that she's been brought to this point for a reason, and she doesn't know how long she's going to be there, and she's like, I better start asking some questions. And the questions that I want to know right now are, I need to find out more about the Phoenix Force, because she knows after Phoenix died, the Phoenix Force is hunting her. And if you're following the current Jean Grey comic, that's what it's all about. She's basically trying to live her life and avoid the mistakes of the future her.
I got you.
And she knows that the Phoenix Force is hunting her. She almost knows it's like an inevitability, but she's just trying to avoid it because she feels like she really wants to understand it, and but she knows that if she was to get that power, it becomes very corrupting, kind of like Thane in the Thanos book that we're reading, where he's destroying the universe with the Phoenix Force. And so she really it's kind of like a just what would you call it? It's like she's running from her inevitability.
Yeah, her fate.
Yeah.
She's trying to outrun fate.
Yeah. So she starts asking her some questions like, can you tell me about the Phoenix Force? What's this all about? Future Jean doesn't really want to even talk about it. She's like, come on, let's go party. And she takes her out to a club. And young Jean is like, I totally get this though, because at this point she is just like, I guess at this point in the story, Jean is just trying to avoid like even really thinking about it. She's like, I don't want to talk about this. I just want to ignore it and not really face it. And so she's just trying to deflect. But finally, young Jean pushes her to the point where she's like, you know what? You keep asking me these questions. She's like, I'll just show you what this is all about. She phoenixes out and takes her into space. Where does she take her? To go face Galactus.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, immediately. And so Galactus is with Terrax. Is that his name? I'm gonna turn to it really quick so I can say it right. But
Terrax, I think so.
Yeah, Terrax. And they're attacking some planet and trying to just like destroy the planet and feed on the life forces that they take. So the Phoenix shows up and she's like, this planet's protected by me. You better back off.
Yeah.
And
piss off.
Yeah. And so Galactus is like, who is this? You think you can tell Galactus what to do? And she essentially, just tries to do like an exhibition of force to show Jean Grey what it's all about. Like, it's pretty impressive to, first of all, immediately she phoenixes out. They fly into space, fly directly to Galactus at speeds Jean Grey has never seen before. And then she takes on one of the most powerful beings the Marvel Universe has ever known. Well, Galactus kind of has Jean Grey where he wants her, or the Phoenix where he wants her. And then Jean knows that the young Jean knows that she can kind of piggyback off of other psychic power that's around her. So she kind of siphons some of the Phoenix Force, flies right up and punches Galactus in the face.
Yeah.
And knocks him back. The young one does that.
Yeah.
So at that point, Galactus says, Terrax, speaking for Galactus, says, Galactus is impressed by your power. We're going to spare this world for now, but you better not cross us again. And Phoenix is like, yeah, he knows we bested him. And this is just him trying to save face a little bit. But he didn't expect he was going to have to fight two Phoenixes at once,
Yeah, that was Cartman saying, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I didn't want you to anyway. I'm just going to go home. Yeah, suck.
So now at this point, this is where it gets pretty interesting, because now Jean really has a full understanding of what the power of the Phoenix Force is. And the Phoenix starts asking her questions about what's going on. Why are you here? Why are you asking me these questions? What happens?
Yeah.
Because she hasn't done all her terrible things yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Jean, all of a sudden, time kind of stops. The Watcher shows up, and he says,
Oh, jeez.
to the young Jean, I'm here to tell you, this is a pivotal point in your timeline, and you have to make a decision that will change. Either decision you make is going to change everything. So you better choose wisely. And that's
Wow.
all he says.
Well, of course, they don't want to give. They don't tell you the end of the book.
Yeah. So
So Stan Lee comes in,
And he says, let me tell you
created
something.
Spider-Man.
I did Spider-Man, but I'm here to tell you, this is pivotal.
Yeah.
I've got both books written.
Yeah.
You just tell me which one to print.
So exactly. so Jean is like, wow, no pressure, right?
Yeah, no crap.
And she literally says that, and then she decides, I can't tell you. I cannot tell you what I know because it would change things, and that's not up to me.
No, it's your choice.
Yeah, and so the Phoenix at that point is she tries to push a little bit, but then Jean starts to get sucked back into her timeline because that was the moment. And she made the right choice because she basically what that showed is she knew she had power to change the universe right there if she had just told Jean what she knew and she decided not to.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a big test for her, and so that pulled her back into the future. So I know I kind of spoiled that whole thing, but I just thought that was it's pretty epic. And I don't know how many people are in on this Generations thing. And like I said, for me, it's all these events can kind of get overwhelming, especially if you're reading other books. So I'm trying to save you a little bit here because I think that if you're interested in that, it's going to continue in the next Jean Grey story. And so, and then on into Marvel Legacy when we get there. So I wanted to be a little more complete when telling about that and also super intense, pretty crazy.
I've always liked the Phoenix. I feel like our movies are still bobbling. You know, they're still having a hard time trying to get a feel for what Jean Grey and the Phoenix is all about. I haven't seen a good way of doing it yet.
Yeah.
So, but man, the comic books have do a good job of revisiting and showing you, true power. And it's not an overwhelming power. That's what I like about it. It's not like, they become this creature of OP that they can't stop. And I mean, there is ways of getting to her, but
Yeah, but as Thane is showing us in the Thanos book, you can destroy planets with the Phoenix Force, and
exactly.
she does. I mean, eventually
easy,
she
yes.
does. So that's what we know about Jean Grey's future. Mm-hmm. So now the young one's trying to avoid such a thing. So
Very cool.
last thing is my independent recommendation of the week. So I picked up, actually 1 and 2 are out for this book right now, but it's a Aftershock comic. It's called Unholy Grail. And essentially this is kind of a alternate retelling. You talk about the King Arthur stories been told so many times. That's what's going on here. But it's really, really dark and depressing. I mean, it is bloody and brutal. And the point that we're jumping into the story is that this one particular Knight of the Round Table has returned to Camelot he found the Holy Grail, and he's returned, and that's where we start. But by the time he gets there, it is a wasteland of blood and bodies and gore.
Wow.
And everything that they were trying to prevent has already happened. So it jumps back a little bit and tells you some about the story of Merlin.
so he chose poorly.
Right? He kind of does look like the guy.
He does exactly look like that guy. You chose poorly.
Yeah. It's definitely a Templar story, and
Templars.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna get Matt's blood stirred up.
yeah. I think this has been pretty cool. I didn't pick up 2 yet because I wanted to try out 1. I like it enough. I think I probably will try number 2 and just see where it goes. And I like supporting these, outside of the big 2, Marvel and DC.
Oh, yeah,
I like
yeah,
picking up some of the other ones too. So
Yeah.
You found some really fun ones, and that one's got a cool cover.
yeah.
I like the sword in the Unholy Grail title there. That's just really cool to me. It's a big broadsword. It's really cool.
So it tells a little bit about Uther's demise, and then it gets into Arthur just a little bit.
Uther Pendragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, just to set up the story, but it doesn't give you any of him having to claim the sword from the Lady of the Lake or anything like that. It really jumps forward to that's what happened in the past, and now here we are.
I'm kind of interested in that one because I listen to a podcast that does a lot of myth and legends. That's what it's called. And they did a whole thing on Arthur, and man, that story is really messed up. And I would love to know what they've taken from that and really twisted with it. So,
I'd say give it a shot.
Yeah.
You can borrow mine.
I will.
You can definitely borrow mine.
He's cool like that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you need it for that final finish off on the roof.
Yeah. I will have a hole in my roof, so hopefully it's not a rainy week.
That's right. I can only borrow it on sunny days.
But that'll do it for Comic Book Corner today.
All right, cool. That was some intense comics you have brought forth.
Go out and support your local comic book shops.
Yep, shop local. So moving along the trail, what do we have in hot and streamy, Landon?
Well, I wanted to say that Jean Grey comic sounded really cool.
It sounds awesome, man. I'm not lying. It makes me want to revisit some old Jean Grey stuff and some old Phoenix stuff. And
I will tell you, so we've been buying the Jean Grey story. That's one that my daughter is actually reading.
Oh, okay.
And
All right.
out of the current story runs that have come after X-Men Prime and X-Men Blue and Gold started and all that, Jean Grey is one of the better ones going right now. It's really good.
Well, the Dark Phoenix back in, was that 90s? Dark Phoenix saga is really good. Mm-hmm. So
Dark Phoenix was, I thought, was it 90s?
Am I wrong? It may be
that.
older than that. I don't know. I get my 80s and 90s comics run together. So
Wait, Dark Phoenix was before the 90s, but yeah. Anyway,
so
Dark Phoenix
still good.
Is a very still good. Before I do hot and streamy, I'm gonna admit a little bit of jealousy here to your fun voice effect, like on Comic Book Corner.
I could do. Hey man,
come on, hook a brother up.
Do you need some? You need some echo?
Give me like a Peter Frampton talk box type thing. You got that?
I don't have that dialed up, but I might be able to work something on that post episode edits.
All right, good deal. Well, this week's hot and streamy, I'm gonna try and keep it on the cheap side. Every month I talk about what's coming to Netflix and what's leaving, and what I need to start doing is talking about what's coming to Games with Gold for Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus, which is where I'm talking. This month, if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you get access to Just Cause 3, and I downloaded this, and the Just Cause series is kind of like geopolitical Grand Theft Auto.
it is.
And Just Cause 3 is no different. You're playing Rico on some island off of in South America type looking location. Very, very graphically pleasing game, but at the same time, it doesn't reinvent the wheel if you've played any of the Just Cause games. And what I like about Just Cause, the story is there. It's in the background. What I like about Just Cause is the gameplay, particularly the grappling hook and the ability that you can almost be like Spider-Man and just zip around this world with a combination of your grappling hook into the parachute, into your glider suit, back into the parachute, back into the grappling hook. And then on top of that, the fun part really comes in the gameplay with the grappling hook, how you can pretty much pin any two things together in the world and physics happens. It's never going to get tiresome to pin a guard to an explosive barrel, shoot the barrel at the bottom, watch the barrel shoot off into the air and drag the guard screaming off into the atmosphere after it and then explode. That's never going to get old.
I don't think it would.
No.
And like what I like particularly about Just Cause 3, especially right now at the price point, gameplay wise, you can go liberate areas, and it's like this is nothing new to games like this, and I think Assassin's Creed's you've had to go and clear areas and you'll liberate this certain part. So this is nothing new, but I like in Just Cause 3 how you can destroy statues and propaganda like speakers and take out generals and destroy like corrupt prisons and stuff like that. I think that's fun, and the gameplay isn't perfect, I'll admit it, especially when it comes to the gunplay. But it's just such a fun experience, especially for the price point. If you're already signed up for PlayStation Network, go download it for free on the store. It's up free through the end of the month. And also, staying in the frugal aspect of video games, one of the things that kind of bums me out on this show is how I'm going to do a little inside baseball. We'll record ahead of time, especially on the Thursday show. So if I see a really cool deal on a video game, by the time it gets to podcast, it might or might not still be active. But this is a deal that is still going to be active by the time you hear this podcast, and even for a little bit past it. If you're a fan of Madden, which based on the numbers, there are a lot of people that are fans of Madden. Madden 18 is just around the corner. And if you have ever bought a used video game, what is a series that makes up like a good 15-20% of every pre-owned game?
Sports?
Yeah, particularly Madden. Yeah. So whenever the new hotness of Madden comes out, it immediately makes the previous year's game pretty much worthless. You can buy it for like $10 used at a GameStop, but they're going to give you like 30 cents and a flip-flop for it. So for some reason, Best Buy, if you go to Best Buy and you trade in your physical copy of Madden 17 towards the purchase of Madden 18, they're going to give you $25 credit.
Wow.
Nice.
So you can get Madden 18 for $35 if you trade in a pre-owned copy of Madden 2017 to Best Buy. But if you're signed up for their Gamers Club Unlocked, you get your regular discount of, I think it's 20% off pre-ordering games, and you get an additional credit towards your trade-in. So if you're signed up for Gamers Club Plus, you're looking at maybe spending like $28 for Madden 18 if you trade in a copy of Madden 17 into Best Buy. So heads up if you're a football fan, and just spoiler alert, that's exactly what I'm doing.
There you go. I don't blame you, man.
And this has been Hot and Streaming.
Let me help the Xbox believers out there.
Yeah, get that. Oh, by the way, speaking of, the first chapter of Hitman is free on Xbox Live as of this recording. Mm-hmm. Friend of the podcast and co-host of Game of Thrones Talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, Hunter East, is a massive, massive fan of the latest Hitman.
Really?
So check that out. Yeah.
You don't hear too much about Hitman anymore. I mean, it's still a good game, but you just don't hear him much.
Well, it really felt like the series was really popular in the late 90s, like PlayStation 2 era, and it was so popular it got turned into an annual franchise, and people got burned on it. But from what Hunter tells me, this latest iteration, it takes almost like an episodic content feel to it. So like each mission will be part of the story, and you have to play all of the stories or all the missions to get the entire story. So like I think it's cool that they're kind of borrowing from that aspect, but apparently the gameplay is just amazing in the new Hitman. So
nice.
Check it out.
Nice.
And it's free, so there you go.
Well, with the Games of Gold, you also can get Slime Rancher this month and Bayonetta if you've never played it. That's a backwards compatible. It's backwards compatible.
Bayonetta on backwards compatibility to the 360. Bayonetta was a fun game from Capcom, and it's one of those games that's like really took on a cult following. So check it out if you're signed up for Xbox Live. That is a fun ass game. Cannot speak to Slime Rancher. You said
my son is all about that game. He thought when he saw that it was free on there, he's like, "Oh my god, I gotta get Slime Rancher." I'm like, that sounds like a horrid game, but he likes it, so I can't say anything about it. And then after the middle of the month, I guess we get Trials Fusion. I don't know. It looks like a dirt bike game. And then Red Faction. I can't even say what that one is. It's the second Red Faction or the third Red.
Okay. Well,
Armageddon. That's it. Red Faction Armageddon.
Okay, that could be fun because the Red Faction.
They were fun.
Yeah, they really were. I liked how it really gave you a destructible environment back when that was almost unheard of. It's like me and my brother, we would play the multiplayer just one-on-one each other, and the objective was to hide in the base, destroy the base, and then kill the other one. Like
nice.
Yeah, those were house rules. Like, and you could not use the railgun. F you, Tyler. You always use the railgun. You cheater. Yeah, so download that and tell your younger brother to fuck off.
If you don't have a younger brother, find a younger brother of someone else and use him. I just want to plug one more game that is actually out on PS4 and Xbox One. I played it with my buddy Greg, and if you've got an itch that revolves around Mad Max, this game called Crossout, you basically build a vehicle out of Mad Max type of parts, and you go out and try to blow up other vehicles. That's literally the object of this game. And as you get better at the game and you do more what they call raids, you get more parts that you can put in, and you get scrap that you can turn into parts, and you get different guns and different builds. I think I had a truck body on top of a van, and I had taken the fenders and put it around my gas tank so they couldn't blow it away, and had like I had 3 big guns, and I mean, you build it from frame up. So it's not like you get like, here's your vehicle. No, you can put whatever. You can put a tractor tire on one side and a small little tiny tire on the other, and it can be kind of lopsided. So you're making left-hand turns constantly. But it's a really fun game. It's free, and it does have one of those, if you want more, you can pay for more kind of thing. And
so it's a freemium type game.
Yeah, freemium, and it's also got an auction, as it were, where you can kind of sell. Like if you've been grinding for a while, you can sell your goods on there and get you some loot and money. So,
that's cool. I'm actually pulling up some images of it right now. The description you gave of like Mad Max is spot on. It looks cool, and especially like you said, for that price point, hard to beat.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Me and my son had a lot of fun building these ugly cars and trying to make them run. And I mean, we got blown up left and right, but it was a lot of fun. And gameplay, cool. You just don't get blown up. Like you can get your front tires blown off. You can get like your gun destroyed, and one of the things my buddy Greg said is that a lot of times, speaking of trolling, people will just blow all your wheels off and leave you for dead.
That just seems mean.
It does sound mean. It does sound very heinous, but at the same time, it does sound fun. So,
well, you mentioned that you and your son got a lot of enjoyment out of it. Is that like y'all just sitting together on the couch, like your son controlling it and you talking together? Or
there's no couch co-op, but it is online co-op.
Okay.
So if you've got some buddies that are into it too, you can double team it.
All right, cool. And speaking, or I guess piggybacking off something you were talking about last week, Killing Floor 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a PC gamer, this month, if you're familiar with the Humble monthly bundle, Humble Bundle is they'll put out games or programs where you can pay what you feel they're worth. You could pay as little as nothing, or you could pay literally anything, and they'll give you downloads to these games, and they tier it. If you donate so much more, you'll get access to these games, and all the donations go to a charity, which is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
They have a monthly service where if you it's $12 a month, and they'll give you access to these games. They've already announced that this month at the $12 price point on PC will get you Killing Floor 2, which originally retails for $30 by itself. So,
it's not a cheap game.
No, and Matt talked about it glowingly last week. So if you heard last week's show and you thought, hey, I'd like to give this game a shot, check it out on PC. Head to humblebundle.com and you can sign up there.
I know PlayStation has a lot of games or not a lot of games. They've got a couple games that kind of intermingle with PC, and I wonder, it's probably not one of them, but it would be awesome if it was.
I don't know if the cross play would be there. I mean, like you said, it'd be awesome if it was, but I doubt it would be there.
Yeah. Oh well, it is a fun game though, guys. You should definitely check it out.
And I mean, $12 a month, and you will get other games as well. They haven't announced them all this for this month, but you have till September 1st, and it's $12.
Yeah, $12. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth a Google.
I think so.
So is that all we have for Hot and Streamy, guys?
Yeah, I'll close it out. This has been hot, and streamy. Because somebody will give me a fun voice effect.
None for you.
Yeah, Peter Frampton talkboxed the shit out of that.
I think you need to. God, I'm going to butcher this. Is it one of the guitar harmonica things where they could hook it into the is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. Do you feel?
I don't know the names of things. I just give them names. Guitar harmonica thing.
Yeah, we've heard the podcast, Matt. We're aware.
Everybody's aware. I just want to keep that going. So I guess I'm going to move on to the roast.
Time to roast something.
My roast is more of a defense.
Oh.
I'm actually roasting people who bagged on The Mummy.
Okay.
I have watched The Mummy.
Yeah. You watched it?
I watched
Dark
it.
Universe?
Dark Universe. I see what you're doing. Okay. I see what is happening. I'm not against it.
Really?
It's The Mummy, I will say, it's very quick. There is a lot going on, and it is Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise.
Is it Mission Impossible meets The Mummy?
I don't think so.
No?
Because he's literally getting his ass kicked 90% of this movie. And most of it is him not knowing what the hell is happening. What are we doing? What is you as the viewer are Tom Cruise also, because it's like, what are we talking about here, guys? They do one of the things that I did like is you don't have to sit through the credits of this bad boy because they do their stinger right in the middle. There is a certain scene, and when you watch it, and you will watch it, let's not pretend you won't. They throw out to you what characters you're probably going to get.
Okay.
So there is a reference to Dracula.
Yeah.
There is a reference to the Black Lagoon creature. I saw some bolts that may have went on the sides of necks. I'm not sure. I don't know. But there is a lot going on in this middle scene, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is one of those things I wish you had paused to rewind, to go back and look again. So
wait, where did you watch this in theater?
I'm not saying.
Oh, okay.
It's incriminating.
Because you just
He
didn't say
watched
you could
it on
pause
a
it.
screen.
Well, it's still in theaters currently, and
Yeah.
I can't say that you
All
can
right,
pause
well,
or rewind what I had.
not
I'll
trying
just
to
say
make you
this.
incriminate
Anything in subtitles, I have no idea what they said.
All right.
Because it was in Russian.
Okay. Now you said too much.
I have said too much. So I watched it in a Russian theater.
Okay.
There we go.
It was not a cam, guys.
It was your trip to go visit Putin.
It was. Yeah, I did not visit any Putin.
Yes, Russian Ambassador Donald
You're
Trump.
allowed to go to the Kremlin without being incriminated.
Yes, come through gift shop. We sell vodka.
So
It's really. I will say this. I can see why people didn't like it because it is not Brandon Fraser. It is not the Brandon Fraser Mummy. There are not many gags, and they are very serious with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when they say, I guess, the Mission Impossible thing, yes, we are very on track that this is a monster. This is what you fear. And there's a lot of, they're trying to scare the piss out of you in this movie, a lot. There are things that you don't want, like swimming zombies. This is not fun. I will say it ended better than it started because you're just kind of like, I don't know.
So it kind of picks up steam as it goes?
You understand, at the end of this movie, you understand what they're going to do and what they're trying to achieve with this universe.
Well, I didn't get the impression there was going to be crossovers, but the way you say that, it seems like there would be.
Spoiler alert, I'll tell you right now, there is another character from the universe already in it. He's already built into it. You are already dealing with who he is and what he is, and I like it.
The
And
Invisible Man.
it's Russell Crowe's character.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I know.
You guys would know what I'm talking about, but his...
He's Shasta McNasty.
Yeah, and that Shasta is really cool. I like that thing. So there is a nod to the Frasier because they can live in the same world because that's the 20s. This is now. The only thing that I will say is that Suicide Squad did it better with a better villain.
Because you're talking about Enchantress?
The Enchantress is so much would have been a better mummy-esque character.
I got to say that when because I haven't seen the movie yet, but watching the previews, the mummy reminds me of Enchantress.
They touch on it a little bit here and there, but she is not the Enchantress.
Okay.
She is evil incarnate. I'll say that. She's pretty nasty. But the fact of the matter is that they evidently took a page from that book. It's not bad. I like it. They did a good job. It's just I like the Enchantress better. Once I've seen the Enchantress, I can't unsee the Enchantress performance. So, but she did a good job. I like the story. That it's kind of clunky in places. You kind of accept some things here and there. I will say the comic relief in there is really good as far as who they chose. If you guys ever watched New Girl, it's Nick.
Oh, okay.
The guy who plays Nick. He's the buddy to Tom Cruise. He's pretty funny.
Yeah. I like him.
And the element they give him is fun. So I say give it a chance. I like where they're going. I'm still not on board with the next iteration, which is supposed to be Bride of Frankenstein. I think it's a misstep in them trying to bring in a heroine, or I don't know if that's even a heroine. They're trying to bring in a female lead, which is fine. I just I don't know. I think you could do it another way without using Bride of Frankenstein because that's not a.
Well, I mean, the villain in this one's a female.
It is, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she's not in it enough, I don't think.
Really?
I think that's probably the problem, is I don't understand her enough because most of her thing is flashbacks. So, and there are a lot.
She did a lot of drugs in her
There
time?
are a lot of flashbacks in this damn movie.
lot of acid
flashbacks. But I did like it. The sets look good. The visuals are great in this, and like I said, they try to scare you. That's what they're trying to do. So I like it, man. I think it's a good movie. I'm kind of disappointed that people really hated on it. I think if it had been anybody but Tom Cruise, it would have been okay. Like, people would have been, oh, this is okay. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And I think everybody who bagged on it, you're just bagging on it because it's Tom Cruise.
Well, in all honesty, you might be right, because everybody on the internet seemed to have an opinion about it, but based on the numbers, not everybody on the internet saw it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's Tom Cruise being a mummy. It's not Brandon Fraser. Well, how long ago was that freaking movie? And does anybody remember the third one of those? I do not.
There was a third one?
Yeah, exactly. Your comment tells you everything everybody should be saying. It's ridiculous. So,
I mean, like, at one point in time, that was a very fun movie franchise.
The first one and the second one are. But
yeah, they're camp as hell and they're fun as hell. But like, after it started going like Scorpion King and stuff like that, it's like, oh,
ew.
Okay, all right. Though I do want to say that movie franchise translated into one hell of a ride at Universal Studios. So.
I've heard that one always gets high marks. That Revenge of the Mummy.
The Mummy ride.
Yeah.
I can see why. Like I said, this movie is trying to be serious, so you need to watch it with new eyes. But no, it's still connected to Brandon Fraser. It's just not Brandon Fraser.
Whose eyes should I take to watch this movie?
Fresh ones.
Fresh
ones. So
okay.
if you can
So
rip them
from
out
a
of
baby,
your,
an
rip them
infant?
from your children.
Oh, okay.
Your children haven't seen the Mummy, I would imagine.
No, I don't think so.
So don't let them see it and let them see this and see what they think.
Yeah, unless they've watched it
It's a
without
horror,
my knowledge.
it's trying to be a horror film, but using the Mummy premise, which is
It's an action horror.
it's an action horror, and that is really hard to sell.
I'm an action horror.
I imagine you've been
heard
watching
that.
The Fast and the Furious. Oh dear, we went way outside. But like I
Okay.
said, that's my roast.
You're
I'm-
roasting those people who are roasting the Mummy.
That's right. You didn't see it. You didn't watch it. You put your views up front. You're doing
you
exactly
went
what
in
you're
with
against.
certain expectations, and
You didn't go in.
Yeah, or you didn't go in.
You wiped it. You wiped it clean. So I'd say go see it. Give it a chance. If you want to wait till Redbox, do that too. But I'm kind of excited about this dark universe they're building.
I'm definitely excited for it, even though this one wasn't getting great reviews. I'm just excited for what we could get with all these different.
It's not
movies.
superheroes.
Right.
These
It's
are
a different
true
thing.
monsters.
And I just feel like we do have a bit of a void right now when it comes to really good monster movies.
We do.
That doesn't exist anymore.
We're starting to get the kaiju rolling, but that's
Yeah, that's coming back. But even like horror movies,
I know horror movies. It's all killers.
Yeah.
And even the supernatural element always gets brought back to a human element.
Well, it does.
Annabelle
even-
just got released, or is getting
Annabelle came out, and I think it's like Annabelle Creation. or something.
Annabelle Creation.
Yeah. Annabelle Creation.
Apparently, it's making a lot of money. People are going to see that movie.
It's a
and that's
doll.
Probably,
That's freaky.
That's probably a good example. It is going to be a good example of a monster
Yeah,
movie.
Exactly. That's a
you know,
monster.
that you've got a monster. But yeah, talking like referring back to Tuesday's show, we don't have the Jason franchise really anymore. We don't have Freddy anymore. We don't have Mike Myers, and it's nice to get these monsters back and have monster movies.
I think and I know this is not connected to this world, but Dracula Untold, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good retelling of Dracula, giving it a human element, making you feel for Dracula as he came upon it. And then they moved him into the spoiler at the end of the movie. You get a modern look of what's happening. If they can give that kind of sound and that kind of look to Dracula going forward into the monster universe, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah,
So,
fingers
hopefully,
crossed.
hopefully, I'll give based on this, and I will say this: the end of it tells you everything you need to know about the monster universe. So,
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you guys. I want you guys to watch it and give me your thoughts. Hit us up on Twitter and give us your thoughts on it. Give it a chance.
Yep. All right, I'll do it. I'm going to do it.
You should.
I'm going to watch
You should.
it. Is that all the roast for today?
That's it, man. Come at me, bro. I'm serious. Really come at me because I would love to have a gentleman's conversation about this movie.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm done with that.
Well, so that brings us to I don't know that we have the stir it up portion, I guess is what we used to call this, where we debate Crossfire, do round table, that sort of thing. Last week, I'm going to go ahead and get to the poll and just mention that the winner was Landon. I don't know if I even need to say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I didn't have a chance. I just wanted to put
Grass
my
is
view out
green,
there.
water is wet. That's right.
So the question we asked was, what was, between the three that we mentioned last week, what was your favorite?
Totally Mini.
Oh, Totally Mini. Okay.
That was the other one.
But that wasn't part of the poll.
It was a TV show.
But we asked, what was your favorite live-action movie that used 2D? And Landon threw out Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I think probably is the best in a lot of people's minds.
Absolutely. I'm
But
not
we had to
denying how
give other
great it
options.
was. Yeah, I'm not denying how great that movie was. I still
It was
watch
the
it.
easy choice.
He ran away with 78% of the vote.
Oh yeah, I didn't even get a vote. Somebody's like, Mr. What?
That one was, I mean, that's an old reference.
It is. Unless you had TNT or TBS as a kid, you won't know that movie.
Yeah. But there are people who love it. So,
Obviously, not listeners.
Ouch.
all our listeners are like 12-year-olds. They're like, what's that?
Incredible.
What
The
are
graphics
those?
are terrible.
When
But
are you going to talk about fidget spinners?
Oh,
that's our new podcast.
fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, us just sitting around on open mics, just fidget spinning for 30 minutes.
Oh.
Dude, mine totally went 10 seconds longer than yours.
You guys were talking about that. I just thought about people who are nervous on little chairs that turn. I didn't know what we were talking about.
I do like spinning in chairs.
And fidgeting.
Now, when it comes to the contest to win a free digital comic, there was only one contestant this week.
Freaking run away with this
So,
one.
guess what, buddy? You are the automatic winner, Mr. Robert Howder. We promised you the Generations #1 Banner Hulk and Totally Awesome Hulk, and you're going to get it. Digital code.
Absolutely.
Just for you. Landon, have you already sent your digital code for Secret Empire, or is this a reminder that you needed?
By the time this episode posts, it will definitely have been sent out. Yes.
Okay.
To answer your question, yes.
Very good.
Nice.
So, that's coming out. You'll get that before this episode drops. We guarantee.
I hope.
and then Mr. Robert Howder, thank you so much for voting, retweeting, and being a follower.
That's right.
You are going to get Generation #1 Banner Hulk, Totally Awesome Hulk. It's very good. And I wanted
Hulk
to say,
and Silver Hulk.
I didn't make this connection previously, but the first two Generation comics that we've seen are really about the new character accepting the responsibility of their power.
That's cool.
If you kind of
Well, it's kind of the inside baseball thing. It's like, hey, just letting you know, it's going to work out, but probably not the way you want.
Yeah. So that it really from the Amadeus Cho having to understand that he really is protecting people from him, and that's something he has to accept. That's one thing, and then Jean understanding the full impact and the fate and the full scope of what her fate will bring with the Phoenix Force. So yeah, interesting. We'll see how it goes with the next one. I don't know which one it's going to be. It might be Hawkeye, might be Iron Man. I don't
Hawkeye
know.
will be interesting.
Yeah. So
High expectations for the hot guy.
yeah.
Of course.
Next week, since we're going to get 10 of these in a row, I'll do Generations #1, The Phoenix, for next week.
That's definitely one you got. Yeah, that's one to win. I promise you.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck, I want to win that comic.
I know. I may have to come up with an alias Twitter.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna register a dummy account.
That's right.
Does Brandon Doan sound too good?
Who's that guy?
I thought you were going to be Dandon Lone.
No, I'm not going to give you guys my real fake name, which is
His real fake name.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this week, we're going to do another no shirt shout out. We are going to ask you the question, based on what we learned this week, that we know Disney's announced in 2019 they're going to have a premium streaming service. We heard from AMC and FX
Yeah.
that they're going
Yep.
to have
Wednesday.
streaming services. They're coming out faster than you can subscribe to them. Now, here's the question: Which one of these providers?
It's not like the other. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Which provider are you willing to pay a premium price for, and which one are you not willing to pay? We're just gonna throw it out as a no shirt shout out question. Give us your thoughts on this. I mean, this is a trend. It's going to keep coming. More and more of these, content controllers are going to be making streaming services because they know the money's out there for them. Why share it with everybody else? An interesting thing, too, is to think about the effects this is going to have on Hulu and Netflix. If you think about that. Because as...
Well, I was going to say, especially with the news coming out that Netflix is in massive debt. So,
yeah. Do we eventually get to the point where Netflix is a thing of the past because everybody has the specific, subscription to the content that they want based on who owns it, as opposed to having a one-stop shop, which sucks, really.
It does.
Sucks for us. good for them, but you're going to go from paying, whatever you pay for your Netflix subscription monthly to $10 for each one of these things that you want. One of my, if we go that way, one of mine's going to be Disney. I guess that would be okay. Here I want to frame it up a little differently.
He's revamping it, guys.
I want to frame it up.
I just watched the light bulb explode.
just a little different frame up around the question. If you could only pick like 3 subscriptions, like streaming subscriptions to specific services.
I was about to say, outside of what you already have available to you, but Disney can be included.
Yeah, Disney.
You don't have it yet. You don't have it yet.
Even the potential ones. So,
okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I just think this is going to keep, you're going to have CBS All Access. You're going to have all this stuff.
True.
So would you pick something like, would you go CBS? NBC?
No, I just want Star Trek.
Would you go, to pick those up? Would you go, are you going to go Disney? Are you going to go AMC? Are you going to go, whatever it may be?
FX, HBO, Showtime.
Yeah, you got 3.
Cinemax.
You got 3. What are the 3 you're taking?
Now, does that include the shop-alls like Netflix and Hulu?
It can, but I think that it's, like I said, it's really interesting to think about the effects that these individual services are going to have. So eventually, less of the stuff you want might be available on Netflix.
If you guys pick Netflix and Hulu, you're picking them for their original content.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you say Netflix, I'm going to think, and you should be thinking yourself, that I'm picking it for their Marvel
Stranger
series,
Things,
Marvel,
like
Orange is the New Black, OA, all their content.
Yeah.
And then Hulu, I'm not really. I know that
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale, the stuff they did. If you pick YouTube Red, we will not make fun of you on air.
Because you want to watch Karate Kid, Cobra Kai.
I saw somebody the other day that said yes to that. I was like, oh my God.
I said yes to it. I say yes.
Well, there's another one that's getting defriended. No.
Ouch.
No, I won't fault anybody for the choices.
This is fun. It's kind of like we're getting close to fantasy football season. We're going to give you
your draft.
This is a fantasy
Here's
draft.
Your top 3 content subscriber draft.
This is a fantasy draft. We're doing it auction style.
Yeah.
You've got $30 a month.
Mm-hmm.
How are you allocating your money?
Yep. How are you doing it?
Yeah. So give us a no shirt shout out. And we will talk about that stuff on next week's episode. Make sure that you retweet, you voice your opinion, and you're a follower, and you could have a chance to win the Jean Grey Phoenix Force crossover generation event.
I will tell you this, guys. You can voice your opinion on Facebook if you're not a Twitter person. We will check that. So I will add that.
Yeah, you could do that. We'll accept
because we know you're following. You can also follow the page. So we know you're at least reading that.
Yep.
Indeed. Oh, speaking of, on the Facebook, did y'all see King of the Hill is in talks to possibly be coming back to Fox?
I heard that.
That's crazy.
Everything comes back. Will and Grace is coming back.
Yeah.
Roseanne's coming back.
I don't know about Roseanne. I would watch Will and Grace before I watch Roseanne again.
We don't get new things. We just get old things rebaked.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yep.
Everybody likes leftovers.
Heck yeah, they do.
They were like, you know what? We can't come up with any new ideas. The old stuff was good. Just bring it all back. Pretty soon we're going to get the Wonder Years.
Honestly, I'm really surprised we haven't had a Wonder Years redo.
Well, I think the Goldbergs is kind of like today's Wonder Years.
Yeah,
it is.
I could see that.
I love the Goldbergs though. I think they do everything right.
They really do.
Goldbergs is fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do some plugs and let's get out of here.
All right, go ahead, Landon.
All right, twitter.com/Landoz, LANDOZ. That is where you can follow me on Twitter. That's where I post the latest updates, terrible wording on my part, of Game of Thrones talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, the podcast exclusively found at buttmunchchips.com. Myself and Hunter East break down the latest episode of HBO's award-winning Game of Thrones. Last week's episode, we got full-on dragon, and it was amazing. So very excited for the happenings in Westeros. So once again, buttmunchchips.com. Those episodes go live every Thursday. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/nerd_news_cafe, because I retweet out the link. So there you go.
Awesome.
Cool. I am still kicking out Tracking Trek podcast. If you guys are interested in Discovery Star Trek, that's coming out on the 24th of September. I have done some reviews of the trailers, and I'm going to keep sticking some content out there until we actually get an episode of it. So bear with me till we get there. We're going to explore some rumors and stuff up to that point. But if you guys want to grab it is Tracking Trek podcast. You can hit it up on Twitter at Tracking Trek Pod. So I hope you guys will join me aboard my voyage. That is it.
And I just have
enjoying what I've been hearing so far, dude. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good stuff. Episode 2, you really kicked it up a notch. You said bam! I said bam! Added some spice.
I actually decided that editing is a good thing. Actually, no. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's a little overwhelming editing. Maybe some people it's second nature. You guys seem to get a good handle on it, but I'm like, there are a lot of buttons here. And then this stuff doesn't come natural to me. So it got easier. It was a lot more fun. I explored some ambient sound, as you said, and it was fun.
Well, I just have one thing I want to plug. He's been asking me to do it forever, and I'm finally going to do it.
How many room cleanings is this?
My son has a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. He likes to make stop motion. He likes to make video game casts. He does a lot of Minecraft and some other things. And he's been begging me to make a mention. And while I do, I'm playing one of his videos right now where he decided to do horrible trumpet playing. This video currently has 1,200 views on YouTube.
Oh, my God.
Trumpet right in the face.
Yep, just blowing that trumpet. This is his best effort. We put him in the band.
He is no Blues Brothers band, but he definitely has the moves down.
I love the angle. This is what do you call this? A Dutch angle?
Dutch angle.
It's shot from
This
below.
is more Scandinavian.
Looking right down the pipe of that trumpet. Just enjoy the tone.
Does he give away things if you can identify the song?
This kind of sounds like a yacht or maybe a cruise ship coming into port right here.
Oh, is this Overboard too?
If you guys want to check out videos like that, you can do that. It's on YouTube.
Nice.
It's Gummy Bear King. Gummy.
Well, he's just like Landon. He's announcing
Bear.
himself
He
as
is
the
the king.
supreme ruler.
King of Gummy
Exactly,
Bears.
yeah. Though your son has a much stronger trumpet game than I do. So.
Yeah. He's very, very talented. We're so proud. We got him a trophy for that.
Nice.
The funny part is that isn't even his trumpet. They don't know where it came from.
It was bizarre.
Is he one of those people that starts out with a paperclip and comes home with like a wheelbarrow?
He did some bartering. But
is that
but
what
yeah.
our public school system is? Just nothing but bartering now?
Basically,
I'm not against
it's
it.
a good skill.
I'm not against it.
Someday our economy will collapse, and we'll have to get back to bartering skills and resources.
Bitcoin won't save us.
Nope.
I don't think Bitcoin was ever going to.
When the robots,
Well, no.
when the robots take over and there's an apocalypse.
Watch what you say. Our audio went out Tuesday when you started talking too much about robots.
It really did. Got kind of weird. This is how Skynet starts.
All right. Well, I'll just stop there.
Form the revolution.
GummyBearKing.com. No, Gummy Bear King on YouTube.
.com. I would love to know what GummyBearKing.com is now.
Well, give me 1 second. We're going to find out. Because right now, y'all are at the mercy of me because I'm the one that locks out this podcast.
This is
great.
true. We
I have all the power.
We have to wander in the pen until you open the cage door.
GummyBearKing.com. Let's see.
This is not going to be good.
Good news, everybody. It's available through
Hey.
GoDaddy.com.
All right.
Beat us to the punch. So for Matt Weaver and Justin Krutzinger, my name is Landon Dunn. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Nerd News Cafe. Stir it up. You've been great. We've been Nerd News.
Good night.